It's failing. Yep. Can we get the... from a square, the pawn that is on it? I'm not sure we can. Square at position, get pawn. So if we look at the square, occupied by. Yeah, get occupied by. Occupied by. No, what is it called? Get occupied by. It's not public. Let's make it public then. Get occupied by. So pawn equals other pawn square at position. No, other square. No, just call it square. Other pawn. Check the pawn. So let's do is an enemy. Return checked pawn. If this returns something. Pawn occupied. No. If checked pawn is not null, then return checked is an enemy checked pawn. Otherwise return false, because that would mean that there is no pawn there or it's not an enemy. Or there is no pawn there, I mean. So is an enemy. We need to create a test for that. So void test is an enemy test. So that's one level above this test, or one level below this test, but we still need to make the same setup. So is an enemy test. And then we can do warrior dot is an, what did we call it? Is an enemy. So this needs to be public. Is an enemy goblin. This should be true. Assert true. It's not gonna be, so we need to create some kind of a data structure for this, where we can store for every player who the enemies are and who the friends are. Yeah. So it needs to go to the owner, like the pawn has an owner, right? Yeah. Owner is an enemy pawn, let's say. Is an enemy pawn. And it's gonna check if the players are enemies. So checked pawn dot owner get owner. So we need to create that class, that method. Public player get owner return this dot owner. Get owner dot is an enemy player. So we need to do it on this pawn. This dot get owner dot is an enemy player. Check pawn get owner, like that. So it's checking the owner of this, and then in the player class, it's gonna check if it's an enemy player. So we need to create that method. It's an enemy pawn. It's gonna be some compilation errors now. It's an enemy pawn. Yeah, so we need to go to the player class now. You don't think what you did is as effective as you thought? UI added a bit too much overhead. Oh, okay. Create test. Add test. Void is an enemy player test. Let's just copy our basic setup from pawn test. No. Actually, I don't think we need that in this case. We can just do... No, we don't need the pawns. We need the players. Here. Hi, Detains. How can I start game hacking? Learn the language of the game? Yeah, I mean, there's probably a lot of ways. I'm no expert, but I would say learn some programming in whatever language you like. What do you know so far? And what kind of games do you want to create? I think maybe the easiest way to get started is to use something like Unity. if you want to see results quickly. Unity has like a 3D physics engine. You can create objects. Roblox. Interesting. I've never used Roblox. There's also a really cool like getting to know programming tool from, it's like one of the big universities in the US. What is it called? Like Scratch from MIT. This is so good. It's like an easy way to learn coding. Serious note, depends what engine the game is made in. Unity is more C#, yeah. Unreal is C++, Godot is C#. So like for really, really basic stuff, this is nice. But you can also create your own engine. So like Minecraft, for example, is I think just written from the ground up. Player.npc, no, player.is an enemy player. NPC should be true. Jars files dot jars are 100% available. What did we call it? It is an enemy player. Owner. No, let's just call it player. Other. No. Checked player. Good, so it exists now. So what if we run this? You can hide. It's a good place to start Minecraft because you can hide Java code. If you're running a Java program, you can see the source code. Oh, I didn't know that. But I think Minecraft is a pretty simple game, right? I wouldn't know exactly how to build it, but it seems to be pretty simple in its architecture. Can't hide OOPS. What is that? But their anti-cheats are much better. They learned how to do the Chaos Monkey. Oops. Aha, you mean like that. Oops. Can't hide. Oops. Okay. Ah, the Chaos Monkey. You know so much, man. I'm impressed. Yeah, missing return statement. Return null. Okay, return false. Cool. So now the test is failing. More to learn. Yes, there's always more to learn. Hmm. So how do we want to keep track of teams or factions in this game? Teams slash factions. Maybe it will just be a mutual thing, like they just have to keep track of it themselves for now. So check player, so let's see, is an enemy player. This dot enemy list dot contains checked player. Return that, yeah. Yeah. Compared to devs you work around, how far away am I from being 50th percentile? Yeah, we can talk about that off stream. I think you need some more context for that answer to be valuable for you. I mean, there's a lot that goes into whatever percentile you would rank someone in, but I would say it's a combination of like how much you know, but it's also your way of working, and also how you can turn your ideas into, like how you can convince people about good ideas, how you can influence and just experience working with larger code bases and so on. But yeah, short answer, yeah, you're looking good. But yeah, we can talk more in detail off stream. Create field. Wait, BMP set. What is that? Private enemy. Okay. Private linked list player. That's the nice thing with the Lang I helped make. That was a massive code base. Yeah. Okay. Import. There we go. Player enemy list. And then this dot enemy list equals. No, we can do that here actually. Equals new linked list. Queried but never updated. So what happens now with our test? Contains checked player. Doesn't contain it, yeah. Now, let's do... We want to be able to update this. public void add enemy player enemy this dot enemy list dot add enemy. Still compiles. Yeah, so when like working on really big code bases and in complex environments, I think being able to keep things simple is super important. And there is this bias that I heard about. There's a theory that humans are biased towards when we are asked to add value on something, like to improve something, we are biased towards adding stuff to it. So like if you're writing a paper, you might think, okay, if I want to improve this paper, I need to write more. But sometimes it's actually more beneficial, more value adding to subtract or remove stuff. And that's really important to remember, especially when working in like complex environments like workplaces with a lot of people or like other types of complexities. Like don't forget to also subtract things when you try to add value. Like try to keep things as simple as possible because complexity is very expensive. So add enemy, then let's try to do that here. Player.add enemy NPC. I'm expecting this to work now actually. Yeah. But I want the opposite to be true. NPC dot is an enemy player. This is gonna fail now. So I want this operation to work on both of the objects at the same time. So this enemy list dot add new enemy, and then enemy dot add enemy this. Oh no, it's gonna be an endless operation, right? Yeah. Stack Overflow. Yeah, this is an endless loop. What if we do can just add some ifs here, I think. If enemy list, you're trying to cut bloat, it's clearer visually. Need to see tests and bench though. Okay, nice. Enemy list dot contains enemy. If not, then do that. And if enemy dot get enemies dot contains this. If not, then add. So this should end after 2 calls. So let's declare this. Linked list player return enemy list this.enemy list. So what about now? Yes, perfect. To do enemy list is done. Is an enemy player works? Is an enemy pawn? Does this work now? We're expecting this to be true, but we're getting false. Yes, it's because we haven't set the enemies. So warrior dot set enemy. How did we? What did we call it? Player add enemy. No, it's not warrior. It's player dot add enemy NPC. Now this should be true. And I want to see it from both directions. Goblin and warrior. We can even do it before and after we set the enemy, just to be sure. Yeah, and here these should be false. Actually, the positions here, we don't need to spawn them. We don't even use the board here. Let's remove that then. Cool. So where are we now? Is an enemy pawn? Contains an enemy. Square contains an enemy. So how is this one going now? Still failing. Yeah, we need to set enemy. Go warrior dot set, no, add enemy. Keep forgetting what it's called. Yeah, add enemy. Goblin. What's the problem? Oh, again. Player, add enemy, NPC. And now it's working. Amazing. Assert false first and then true. Awesome. This is amazing. Some good momentum now. Find all squares around blah blah blah. Square not in other paths contains an enemy. Square contains an enemy, I think. Is the new name. So could this actually run now? Scan paths for enemy. It's not called. Oh. So where they return that? Find path to closest enemy. Let's see. Finally, tests passing. I rewrote that 4 times. Couldn't decide. Nice. So this is gonna run. Cannot invoke. Path to closest enemy is null. What? What does it mean it's null? Ah. Yeah, sometimes null, sometimes not. It might return this. On test. I want to run this, see what happens. Null pointer. Square is null. Get occupied by. Square contains an enemy. Pawn. Get occupied by, because square is null. Why do we have a null square? Should never be the case. -1 above. You mean like... How it stores square root of value under 0. That's imaginary numbers, right? Why do we have this problem? Square is null. Paths.add new path this.square. Is it null already here? No, it's not. Okay. Scan paths for enemy paths. Okay. This one we can skip. Okay, so here we have a path and then we have a... Oh! Is the problem that this find all squares around the n squares of the path is longer than the amount of squares that it finds? Yeah, search square. This time it's it has a square. It has a square. Same. Same. Now it's null. Yeah, I think this is the problem. Get neighbors of square. It's too long. This array is too long. Can I just do this? No. So then I actually need to okay, maybe a linked list here will be better. Linked list square. Then I just do squares.add. I don't need to keep track of an index. And return squares. Yeah. So this needs to also become linked list square. Squares, get neighbors. Yeah, this should be linked list square and Maybe you don't really see what I'm doing now. Let's do like that. Squares equals new linked list.